Yeah.
Donnie B got to be.
Yo, yo. So this is Donnie B got the beats. And if you don't know, now you know. So listen, everybody knows that, I know a lot of people. I try to, learn about as many people as I as I can. I come across a lot of different people, so forth and so on. And the show is for me to showcase, not for me, but just for people in the entire world to understand the interesting people that I come across. One of these people, I had the pleasure of meeting a long time ago, way back when in a little small town called the DMV, called DC, is Gold. Met her while I was on with the notorious, and I gotta say notorious, the dopest, the freshest nonprofit there is, Will Rap for Food.
Yes.
And we were out throwing they were out doing an event, and I was in the audience, and she came through. She had the Afro buzz at the time. She was rapping. I was like, "Who is this?" You know what I'm saying? So she was talking to my guy Veda. And you know what I'm saying? And I was like, "Wait, who's that?" She was like, "Oh, that's it's Debbie. Like, she's a singer, whatever." And so ever since, I got to hear her sing, and it was just like everything about it was popping. Like, so much swag, so much energy. The actress, singer, songwriter, she's like a howitzer, man. She's just all over the place with it. But a very dope individual, and as humble as they come.
Thank you.
Gold. So definitely wanted to. Send a shout out to Gold, and I was like, I gotta get you on the show. So without further ado, I'd like everybody to meet Gold.
Yay. Everybody, Donnie, thank you so much. You just melted my whole heart and soul just now. Thank you for that, man. Coming from you, because you're like the master creator. You do everything, and you do it well. It's not like you're a jack of all trades and you slum here and there. You do really good work in the arts, just all over. So
well, I'm glad somebody notices, but I appreciate it. No, but definitely, like I said, it was an honor to bring you on the show, and you were definitely one of the first people that I definitely wanted to bring on. So, without further ado, let's get to some questioning.
Awesome.
All right, tell us a little bit about yourself, Gold. Like, who are you? Like, what created Gold? Like, just give us the whole pantheon of what Gold is and what Gold represents.
I am a loving, joyful, just creative soul. And what created Gold was Deborah. Experiencing the trauma of childhood, the suffering and all of that, and using my art to heal myself. And it's like, to me, like in the Bible where Abram became Abraham, or people got their names changed. And for me, when I moved and when I began to embrace myself, love myself, shed the old pains and heartaches and heal, I couldn't stay with the same name. It had to change. And so I legally changed my name. So
you legally changed it.
Yeah.
So you got like documentation.
But that's the Virgo in me. I'm too organized. I can't have two things going on at one time.
Hey, I tell you what, it's awesome though, because you got receipts. Like most people be like I'm not a big on the beats. I got like a lot of different, like people know me by different things, and none of it is like I went to the courthouse and got the paperwork down.
And it costs bread. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah. So do you?
was
Did you
expensive.
get? Did you get like you got a social security number and everything?
Yeah.
Yo.
Same social. They just made me change my name on it.
Oh, okay. Either or. That's pretty. That's top flight. That's right up here with it. Like, let me put it up in the frame. It's right up here with it, man. That's dope. So what? I noticed you say past traumas, childhood and dealing with embracing with things that issues and stuff that you were dealing with and so forth and so on. Like, why singing though? Like, what was it about song that got you, to express yourself?
I think it was singing because singing terrified me. Performing in front of people, I would get so scared and have so much anxiety that my mouth would go completely dry before I sang a lyric. And I would be on stage almost shaking. And one day, he used to manage Mambo Sauce, and he started managing my band that I used to be in, Peculiar People, a guy, Eric Hennett.
Yeah.
One day, we were at a show in Annapolis, and he said, if that is how you feel when you're on stage, you need to pick a new profession. And I was just like, what? How dare you talk to me like this? Like, what? And so I remember the next few shows I went to, to see, I wasn't performing.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Deborah Bond performing, and I didn't know her at that time.
Debbie Bond, nice.
I watched her. She was at the Carter Barron, and she was just all over the stage, and she was just pouring herself out. And I was just like, that's how I need to be if I want to be a singer. I need to be like that. And I'll never forget that day because it changed me for the rest of my life. Like, every time I got on the stage after that, I would think of her and I'd be like, I have to bring it. I have to use the stage. I have to be passionate. And if I'm doing all of that, there's no time to be experiencing all this anxiety because there's a mission here,
Right. That's awesome. So not only do you sing, you also act as well, right?
I do, yes. But singing got me the leg into SAG-AFTRA. I sang on a show. So I attribute my membership to the union to what my first love was, which was singing.
Okay. So, I mean, understanding that's the course that you're on as far as by singing, but how what drives a person that if that is your course and that's your lane to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to try this too, and then kill that too.
So I was a stay-at-home mom for a brief stint, and I didn't have my own income. So I was relying solely on my ex-husband's income. And I realized I can't do this. I need some money. And someone said, you should try acting. My friend Crystal, she was like, you should try acting. I'm like, I'm not an actor. I don't do that. And she's like, look at your facial expressions. You are an actor. When you're on stage singing, your face is saying so much. And so I was just asking around, looking around, and someone mentioned they were looking for background actors on House of Cards. And so it was filming somewhere in Baltimore. And I was like, well, I'm just going to apply and see what happens. And I went ahead and I applied and I got booked for the gig. It's my first time applying to anything acting related. And I met so many amazing people. They were so helpful, so open. And I remember these two Asian women, the fourth time I was on House of Cards, they really embraced me and just showed so much love, gave me advice. One of them suggested to me that I try to find an agent. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing all background work right now. I don't think an agent is checking for me. But she invited me to come along with her to audition for this agency in Richmond.
Okay.
So we drove the 3 hours. We went, and they were the founder of that company. She's like, I don't represent singers. All you have on your resume is singing. I can't do anything with that. And she was like, I'll never forget. I'm telling you, this is vivid in my memory. If I have 10 of something, I don't need 11. And I was just like, okay, she is going straight to it.
Yeah.
Straight for the jugular. And so I went home and I'm devastated. And I'm like, oh my God. But it made me more determined. So I went back to her. I had new headshots. I, did what I had to do to get my resume up. And then she took me on. And after that, it was just everything started coming to me. Gigs. I was on a show on PBS where I ended up getting pushed up. I don't know if you know Marcus Canty, but he and I got married on the show. We we were married on that show, and we danced with the leads, and that was the defining moment in acting for me, where I was like, I like this a lot. Like, not as much as singing, but I like this a lot. I feel like I want to do this right here.
Gotta put a disclaimer. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I mean, again, the accolades precede you. I mean, you definitely have forged a hell of a path for yourself. And like I said, like I've watched it from the I always do my homework on everybody. But, like I said, I've watched and I've seen you've killed it, like in every step, which is why I respect you so much. So, segue, being that you're from the DMV, like myself,
yes,
out in a whole new environment,
yes,
whole new town. So like, you can say DC and then the real world. Like, let's talk about the differences between LA and the DMV. What's your thoughts on that?
This is a tough one. I was thinking about this yesterday and how I felt like the two bands that I was in, I felt like we got like mad love. So I never experienced the hate or whatever it was a lot of DMV artists would talk about. I felt like there was a lot of support for us. Even me as a solo artist, I felt supported. Like when I released my first video, Streets Are Life, just did really well. So I always felt good about being an artist in the DMV. With that said, when I came to LA, I mean, everybody is really fluid and creative. It's like that's because they know this is where it's at. Right. They come here to be that. And so you can always find what you're looking for. And it's just a hub for creativity. And I love the environment. I love that it doesn't get cold. Right now it's like cool outside. So I feel nature inspires me so much. And being out, seeing the sun or trees and mountains and the snow-capped mountains, even when I'm warm, it's like something about those things really fuel me and fuel my creativity. So I don't know, I really love it here. I love the DMV, it's home, and I always feel it will always be special to me, but I don't know that I will be going back to live just because, I don't know, it's a different vibe here. So.
Right. Awesome. I mean, and again, this is your interview. But
I was about to ask you, what about you?
Well, yeah, my thoughts is this. I mean, obviously I'm still here. I've been here 5 years, it's almost 6 years. You know what I mean? I love LA. I absolutely love LA, but I love DC too. Like, and I always put it in perspective of, no disrespect to LA, but DC prepared me for LA 1000%. And I always jokingly but warmly refer to DC as Wakanda. Like, it's ridiculous. It's like people walk around like royalty. Like, we was wearing suits in the club like 10 years ago. Like, what are we, like, whatever. We at the club and it's red carpets, it's popping, flash balls, woo, woo, woo. You get out to Hollywood and it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I mean, I kind of did that like 10 years ago. So, I mean, I know how to do it. I know how to do it well because DC prepared me for it. But again, I don't take anything away from LA because LA is, like you said, where it's at. And it's a hotbed of just creativity. And I love people just, for the most part, I gotta throw that disclaimer, for the most part, people are genuine out here. Like, and I say the DC folk ain't genuine, but out here it's just like it's like, hey man, we party. Like, okay. And so that's the idea. Like, the Lakers pop and it's like, we winning. You know what I mean? Welcome back. So, like I said, the when the Lakers won, it was like, oh, we out here partying. I don't care COVID, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? The Dodgers won. Hey, they popping. Like, hey, we party, whatever. Like, it's just everybody really just it's as you said, fluid.
Yeah.
And it's a lot slower.
Yeah.
And that's why I respect it for that. I appreciate it for that. And then, like you said, just the aesthetic. Like, you go north, you see mountains.
Mm-hmm.
You go east, you see, like, you get desert if you want. You go west, it's beach. You know what I mean? You
and
go
there's always palm trees. Like,
and it's always palm trees. Exactly.
Like, how could you not love it?
So, like I said, I'm never moving home. I already, it's like, I'm not moving back to DC. Like, there's no.
I almost feel bad because I'm like, if I never came out here, I would never have gotten so hooked. And now I don't want to go back home. So it's like, oh man.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it's always a love thing. You know what I'm saying? And you know, a girl from Monique is like, I tell her all the time. It's like, hey, look, I love my DC sports, man. I like, I could be out here. That's great, but I love DC sports, right? Like, like,
from LA. Is she from?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. She's from LA, but again, it's just one of those things as where it's like, okay. So the sports programs are something separate, okay? Because the DC sports programs, they piss me off. They you know what I'm saying? I gotta say it on air. They trash. You know what I'm saying? When they, thank you to Nationals, thank you to women's. It takes the Nationals and the Mystics to give us something. Everybody else is like, bro.
But I will never let go of my Ravens. So it's not going to happen. I don't rep Baltimore, but the Ravens are my team. So no matter where I go,
I ain't even mad at you for it. Like if I had an AFC team, the Ravens would be my AFC team because they. As
long as you didn't say the Steelers, my heart almost stopped for a second. I was like, what is he going to say?
Okay, so hold on. So my family, like kind of originated from Pittsburgh. Okay, so like everybody's on that side was black and gold, but you don't understand the amount of fisticuffs we get to over this conversation.
No, I understand.
I would never with the Steelers, never, just because of my family, like never, So they're cool, but that ain't for me. You know what I mean? So that's what that is. So anyway, back to the interview. Let's keep it popping. What you got? What you currently got cooking? What's in your kitchen cooking?
Oh boy. So I am working on something. I don't want to give too much away on it, but my daughter and I, we have something coming up, and it's just, what can I say without saying too much? It's a mother-daughter perspective on, like, both of our perspectives on life, with these two different generations. And then we decided to input a little bit of comedy because we're both pretty goofy. She more than I am because she's she does impressions and all this kind of stuff.
Awesome.
And she's also a singer, an amazing writer. And so we're working together to script that out. And then I do have a song that I am working on for just so many people. They're losing people. A lot of people are just losing people they love.
Right.
And it impacts me a lot. I empathize deeply because in college I lost my mother, and then I lost my baby sister, and she was 20, just before her 21st birthday, a couple months before. And I still haven't gotten over that. It's not as like palpable as it used to be, but I still feel it. Like, I still feel that pain, and it's over a decade later. So for people who are experiencing it fresh right here, right now, that agony of that, it's like, man, I know what it feels like. I can't pretend like I remember the freshness of it, but I know it was bad. And I want to help. I want to help people heal. Like, I know what it took for me to heal, and I'm still healing. It's taking a lot of focused effort and daily reminders, a lot of affirmations and music that builds me up. And I want to give that music that can help people to get through it. So that is where I am. And I'm working with Britton. Britton was, he mixed and mastered Forever Vibe. And Forever Vibe was just released. You know that because you know, mastermind that visual for me. So, yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know.
I don't know. I'm interviewing right now. I don't know. It was a great experience. I love that song. I love the song. I was like, absolutely. So, yeah. So, I mean, segue. What is a Forever Vibe?
A Forever Vibe. So it crosses subject areas. It's not just love. It's forever in any area that's important to you. And it's something that you create, you build, you work for, you commit yourself to, and it's something that is of high value, and you want it to last, and you want it to live on when you're gone. So it's almost your legacy. It's like, what are you building? That's a forever vibe to me. So It can be love. In the song, it leans more towards love. But for me, and thinking about forever and a forever vibe, it's just whatever you're building and whatever you're going to leave behind for the people you love, the people coming behind you.
Right. That's awesome. Well, with that said, we got the video.
Yeah.
It's about to go down. So what we got? We about to. Okay. So we got this layover. I'm gonna have to share the screen. So we're gonna edit that in post. You see how I did that with the the jargon. So anyway, here we go. For everybody.
I don't or die. You by my side. Say you're all mine. These vibes for life. Whoa. Ever, ever, ever,
Yes. So we're back at it again. So I gotta say, right? You tell me exactly what you thought about that video. You tell me. And there's no pressure. Please be 1,000%.
I really loved it. I love doing it and I love watching it. I laugh every time it gets to the end. I laugh because I'm always in the car like. And I love how you like came up with that crazy remix. Just made it special, like to have something unique to put on the end of there. So yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because so little known fact was doing the what word was it? Doing the remix. I take joy at trying to find things that I can do that are how can I put it left. You know what I mean? Like I like left things.
And
so
that was so left for that song because that song was a ballad for sure.
Yeah, and to me it was just like, okay, well, we got this thing, and it has this direction to it, but it's like, why not just go left and also pay homage back to the city because the pick it up, that's emo right there, right? And people don't even know, like, and that's the one thing I can say I miss the most being out here. It's like you don't get that kind of music, the go-go, the be more, the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous. So I mean, hats off to you for the song. I love Forever Vibe. Shout on the iPhone, by the way. So I had the hashtag shout on iPhone. But definitely wanted to say that it was a pleasure doing it, and I say less. You know what I mean? So anyway, segue back into the second half of the interview, and this is where it's going to get choppy.
But let me hold on before we go there. Let me just say one last thing about the video.
Sure.
I was in shock that you were shooting it on an iPhone. To be honest, I was like, "Where's the T3i or the whatever number letter combination the camera was supposed to be?"
The Red Dragon.
Are we really doing this right now? And it came out when you showed me the first clip of video. I was like, "Oh, we are doing this. This is legit. This is clear." I was like, "What phone is that? To get that phone?"
It's man, what kind of janky production is this? Nah, we don't do janky.
You threw that thing on the you threw it on the Rose moves.
The dolly.
Backwards. Dolly.
There it is.
I was like,
So
dang.
we use real entertainment jargon on this show. But it was I was confident in it. That's what I do for a living. Most people don't know that, but I do videography and understand technology and video television and so forth and so on. I have a certain set of skills. It was definitely something that I wanted to, I was like, I want to try it because at the end of the day, all of the boxes get checked with when you shoot with an iPhone. So it's like, I can do that, and I can do it, and it was a task. It was like a sub challenge, and I loved it. So that's where we are with that. Now, entertainment and politics. We in a time right now where blue versus red, you know what I'm saying? We ain't talking C's versus B's out here, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful with that out here in LA. But entertainment and politics. Like, what's your thoughts on entertainment and politics since you out here in LA and in this time? Because it's a real trying time when it comes to stuff like that. What's your thoughts?
I think that entertainers have been pivotal to getting people out to vote. I've seen so many entertainers on my timeline, actors, actresses, artists, pushing that. Get out and vote. Get out and vote. I promise you, they had to have gotten half of those people out there to vote. I just believe it because we're too influenced by art and artists to not have been touched by that. I was going to vote regardless, but I believe that a large population of young people might have been pushed into voting for the first time or voting, like older people voting in general, by these entertainers who were like, hey, this is important. You got to get out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel that, in case in point with, with the entertainers being more outspoken and it's that shut up and dribble or shut up and sing or shut up and rap or whatever, so forth and so on. Do you feel that is a good place to be in today's society with regard to, people being heralded or under heralded with view counts or, so forth and so on? What's your thoughts on that? Do you think people really should just kind of just be in their place and just, go along for the ride, or do you really feel people need to be out in front and vote and obviously vote? I assume, but I mean, just to be on the front lines and be rowdy about it. What's your thoughts on that?
So it's all about wisdom. I feel like if you're going to be out on the front lines and rowdy and outspoken and in that limelight like that, you need to have some advisors or something, a publicist, somebody to tell you like, hey, this might not be the way to go, or you might want to scale back on this, or like, who is your circle that lets you out or lets you off the leash to wild out and say craziness or go and get emotional crying on at your rally or something? Like, everybody needs to have a team and they have to have wisdom before they open their mouths. At the same time, you should open your mouth. You're not just an artist. You're a citizen. Right. You're a U.S. citizen. You have a right to speak. Freedom of speech is for everybody, including artists. So, yes, put down those dope lyrics on the track. But yes, also, if you have something valid to say it by all means. That's my opinion on it.
Understood. I like that thought process. I like that. Now, being that you are, you're a Hydra, like you have a lot of different talents, and they're all, heads to the snake. What's your thoughts on women in the entertainment industry? Like, I know that's long since been something that has been, a topic of conversation. Like, what do you think the position is with women in the entertainment industry is? Do you like where we are? Do you think we still got a distance to travel? I mean, like, what's your thoughts?
You know what I miss? I miss when it was simple. I really miss when it wasn't so raunchy. Like, and women were more subtle. Women in the industry have become more inclined to do what they think men want to see instead of being true to themselves. And I really believe, like, because of the music that hip hop is like the #1 genre in America. And that music, it is so carefully orchestrated what our ears get to hear, the content that comes to our communities. And so when our young girls hear that and city girls come about because they've been fed what men like and they want to appeal to men, and they know that other girls just like them want to appeal to the male population, they're going to take it all off, show what they got to show, not realizing that ultimately men don't really want to keep someone who's showing everybody everything. But we are being bamboozled into believing that this is what we have to do to be loved and accepted and heralded and to have good music or good content. It has to be sensual and sexual and like visually stimulating to a man. And so I really believe that we have a ways to go. To answer your question, yes. Like, I remember the days of when Lauryn Hill came out, and that miseducation kind of like was a culture shock, because I ain't gonna lie, there was Lil' Kim back in the day. There was Foxy Brown back in the day. And those women got to me. Like, as a little girl, I really was like, dang, okay, I need to do that, and that in order to keep a man. Right. But I was not being fed what I needed to build myself and to love me and to grow. And women like Lauryn Hill really, and India Ari, those women, they build us up, and we need more of that. And it might not be what is popular, but I mean, like, fuck what's popular. Let's be honest. Our women, our community, our whole community needs healing. And this music, the music we listen to is like I said, what I listened to helped me to get to the point where I was healing myself. So I know for a fact that the content in our music is either going to destroy us or it's going to elevate us. It's one or the other. And I'm not saying, like, there are songs that I like people who know me know one of my favorite artists is Jhené Aiko. And she isn't all like sweet and innocent. She has some songs, a little bit of songs that gonna tap into that other side of a woman. But I have that other side, so I want that tap. But not to the point where it becomes detrimental. I need you to have a little bit more content, a little more substance. And I know she has that. Like, a lot of her songs are also like healing songs. She has mantras and meditations and things like that. So I'm not saying don't tap into that, but don't make it the only thing you have.
Well, it's interesting, well, first of all, it's just two things. Let's start with the latest thing first, and then I'll go back and ask you a question about, what you said earlier. Okay. I agree with Jhené Aiko. I think Jhené Aiko is like a fascinating artist, like fascinating. Like she and honestly, for her to pair with Big Sean, it's like, I get that union right there. Like, both of them are very fascinating, and they cover a lot of ground between them both. Yeah. But I think that the person that I think it literally to me is the person to watch is her. Like, She like legit facts. Like you said, like it's not about like skin. It's not about showing anything. It's just like legit like content. She's sinking battleships. Like it's like ridiculous. Like and nobody like and I always kind of meter it to who's everybody talking about versus who's putting in the work.
Yeah.
And I think that she is not getting the conversationalism that is in comparison to what she's actually putting on tape, because she's in there shooting in the gym.
I agree with you. Like content wise, her music is amazing.
Yeah.
And I really, she's on every playlist I have, honestly, along with Janae. Like they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But when I'm watching her live, I'm a little bit like, I want more from you. Like I want you to give more. So it's a little dry on stage, but it's like amazing to my ears, if that makes sense.
No.
I think that she has to come out of her shell some more.
That's understandable. I mean, and I totally understand. Like I get where you're coming from with that, and me as a performer too. I'm very much like I'll stage that in a heartbeat, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm for the most part kind of cerebral. I weigh it as it comes, and I guess that's why I dig her. I can see why in instances why you feel that she should give more, but I also just like the fact that like my high school band director, very influential figure for me, was a person that was like, if you can't command a stage standing in the middle of a spotlight on a stool drinking a glass of water with a microphone in your hand, you ain't doing nothing. Mm-hmm. And literally it's like at the end of the day, it's like learning to let your voice speak. And just let your presence command everything. That's what I'm used to. So hearing the content, hearing how she comes out and just delivers the mail, like it's like okay, and that's why it resonates with me. But I totally understand your point. Now, to address the earlier conversation. Now you said that the sexuality of these women are pretty much airdropped to men, but this is 2020. Do you feel that it's truly about the men, or is it just as much about the women as it is about the men?
Yeah, I 110% think it's about the men. It's always at the core about the men, and it can be masqueraded as this is sexual freedom and whatever, but deep down, it's. Do we really, as women, care that much to twerk on stage if there are no men in the world?
Yeah, I get it. No, that's a very, very good point. And obviously, I don't know the answer to it, but I also look at it from the perspective of, I mean, to be realistic, Miley championed it. Even though she shouldn't have, she created that woman. And at the end of the day, it's like, who's Miley twerking for? In the grand scheme of things, when Rihanna was already doing it, and it's still so many other people was doing it.
Story though, Donnie, don't you know Miley was like a Disney princess? Yeah. This is like Kiki and who's another girl? Ariana. All those girls who grew up as stars on those kid flicks.
Yeah. Christina Milian. I mean, not Christina Milian. What's her name? Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, they break out. Like that's a part of their coming of age. Like I gotta twerk. I gotta do this. That's a different field. I feel like that's something they all have to do in order to experience adulthood, because they feel like they've always been in this box of I'm a good Disney girl and I have to have a certain face and whatever. And at some point you break out of that.
That's
For
fair.
the large majority of women, I don't think that applies. I think it's what we are being fed and what we are being programmed to do.
That's understandable. That's fair. And I guess I'll leave it at that. You know what I mean?
I know you're opinionated, so I know it's all good.
No. I mean, it serves a lot of masters in order for me to kind of be quiet. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like I said, I mean, there is definitely we can do like a part 2, part 3 to this episode based on that. But I'm gonna keep it G, you know.
Because listen, as a girl, when I was like 13 or 14, I remember distinctly listening to Lil' Kim and having that thought. Like, this music tells me my man doesn't see anybody but me if I can do this
Right.
with my mouth, or if I can do that. Like, this wasn't for me. I'm a teenager. I'm a new teenager. I don't care about this stuff. I don't even do this stuff. This doesn't matter to me.
Right.
But they made it matter to me. And psychologically, or even subconsciously, on a subconscious level, it was there. It was placed inside of me. And it continued to be built upon by the music I chose. Mm-hmm. And so, first, they taught me, you know, this is what I need to do to keep a man. Women, the thing men have to understand about us is that ultimately, we want to please. We want to be that one, the only one you want. And we'll do that by any means necessary if we really want you. So anything that you see, I feel like what women do ultimately in terms of sexuality, I just don't believe it's just for themselves, honestly. There are some, I do believe there are some. But I do also believe, just like I was a 13-year-old who got that information downloaded into me without being fully aware of what was happening, a lot of girls who are 12 and 13 years old are listening to WAP, and it's being downloaded into them without them fully realizing it. And they're going to go from 12 and 13-year-old girls with not fully aware of what they're getting to 21, 22-year-old women who have downloaded enough information over that 10-year span to become a monster. So I believe it's that powerful.
Okay. Respectful. Totally understand. Pushing forward. Being that you've covered so much ground, done so much, championed so much. I mean, even like you said, have been a pillar for your kids, and I'm sure they view you as an amazing role model. Do you have any advice for aspiring talent, people that are coming up that really want to try to understand how, like, get it in the business? Being that you came, you know, you're one of the people that have come from great distances to establish yourself in a media capital, so forth and so on. That takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of money, takes a lot of everything. You have to be very present of mind to do what it is that you have accomplished and have done amazingly afterward. What is your advice for aspiring talent?
My advice is start early. Start early and work your ass off. Like, whatever it is you're passionate about, no matter how crazy it sounds, like if it's a talent that has been given to you and you see skill in it, some level of talent there, develop it. Take classes, put the work in, put the hours in, go to sleep at 3 a.m. in the morning because you're working at it. You're 12, 13, 14 years old. Stay up as long as your parents let you stay up to work on that craft because you're young. This is the time to do it. Like, change the world, because if you can, the thing about like talent, what's the saying? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You can have all that talent, all that raw, like, just beautiful things you can do. But if you're not developing it and you're not putting the time in, it's not gonna yield any results. Right. So it's like when I was running track, when I first started, I could have quit. Freshman year. I was slow, slumming up the track. And I was like, oh man, all these girls smoking me, go to all the track meets coming in last. And there was a choice, develop it. I had talent. The coach, he was like, I know you gotta be fast. I was racing all the boys in the neighborhood when I was a little girl, so I knew I was fast. But that kind of fast, that basic level of fast, I'm faster than most people on the block, isn't the same as being on the track with girls who have been training and training and training. This is a different level. So if you're a singer and I know I can sing, I'm in my kitchen, nobody in my family or on this street or in this neighborhood can out-sing me. There's a big world outside of that neighborhood. And there are, just like there are girls who are training on that track every day, there are girls and guys who are in the studio or on that guitar learning those chords or at that piano every day for 7-8 hours because they don't got no job to go to. You don't got to work. You don't got to pay bills. You don't got to cook food. You don't got to do any of that. What else do you have to do but to develop and refine your skills? Go do it. Do it now. Like, don't wait. Don't wait until you're 16 or 18. If you're alive and breathing and you notice a talent you have, make it become a skill. Turn it into a skill. And I'm passionate about this, so I can go on forever. Like, do it.
That's awesome. Because you don't say it, you don't just say it, you live it as well. So I mean, I totally understand and respect it. So I mean, definitely dope advice coming from a dope artist and a dope person overall. How can people learn more about like you if they're interested and they just want to keep moving forward and you know catch more forever vibes from you? How can people learn more?
So first things first, go buy my novel. It's called Shift by Gold. Go buy it on Amazon. Buy my book. That's the first thing. Okay. Second thing, go find me on Spotify. And you can follow me on Instagram. Hidden Pot of Gold. Easy. That's where all my information is. Everything I do comes on Instagram first. So follow me there.
So it says actress, singer, songwriter. I should have put actress, singer, songwriter, the book writer. I don't know if I got no space at the bottom of this joint. Like, but the accolades keep coming, and they should because you work really hard. Like I said, I followed you for a long time. Definitely one of the more well-respected people that I know, and will recommend you without reservation to anybody. I definitely appreciate you for your time. I appreciate you for your talent and your humanity, who you are as a person. As always, I'm always a phone call away for good friends and good family. So I definitely appreciate you. And like I said, if there's anything else that you want to promote, any other links, so forth and so on, just shoot them over to me so I can put them in the comment section below so that everybody can easily link and so forth and so on and get you some patronage. But
Donnie, I love you so much, man. You are the hardest working man I know, and it's in so many different areas, like I said in the beginning. So mad respect to you, what you're doing, what you're trying to do for artists, man. That means so much because I know a lot of artists be like, exposure don't pay the bills. And that's true. Like, as a band especially, you want that bread. But exposure is important too. So I appreciate what you're doing. And I know you're doing it from the heart. Like, you're really intentional. So I appreciate you.
Appreciate that. Thank you. And nonetheless, like I said, moving forward, stay tuned. Gold has a lot of things coming up in store, so just make sure y'all pay attention and stay tuned. The beat, we got some other people. We got, like I said, I'm trying to spread it out. We got some NFL ballers on this thing coming up real soon. We got some folks on here, so stay tuned to quality programming coming real soon. Donnie B got the beats. Got
Donnie B got the beats.
Gold over here. And then we gonna keep it G. So stay tuned. Definitely everybody drive safe, be safe in the pandemic, and always love first. All right. At the end of the day, let's go.
Donnie B.